El siguiente espacio es un programa pagado y las opiniones emitidas en el mismo no representan la opinión de CBBA Radio ni de sus patrocinadores.
Hello and welcome to Your Health Naturally. I'm Lilibeth Andre, your host, naturopath and pranic healer with Healthy Balance here in Houston, Texas. This program serves to demystify natural health alternatives, and I hope that you find it interesting. If you missed any of our past episodes, you can find them on our YouTube channel. And while you're there, please subscribe and show us your support. I want to thank you for joining us in this live program today here at CBBA. Today's program, we want to talk about holistic health and to have an understanding that we are magnetic and energetic beings. And to talk further on the subject, we have a special guest here to discuss some of the biomagnetics and bioenergetics by Dr. Daria Guzman. And welcome, Daria.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for bringing me to your...
Well, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
I wanted to start by having you tell us a little bit about your story. How did you find your path to this type of therapies and this type of work?
Well, my husband and I, we had a store that we sell our products.
Mm-hmm.
But we can do more further because we don't have a naturopathic doctor. So we are looking for that and wasn't really ready in that moment. So we decided to come here to United States
Mm-hmm.
and start study all this kind of techniques.
Mm-hmm.
So finally we have the degree of the naturopathic doctor and we start doing ourselves. So that's the way that we start working with all this.
So he was the primary therapist at the time?
Yes, yes.
And now you're both practicing naturopaths?
Now both, yes. Mm-hmm.
Now, I know that in some cases people turn to these type of therapies because of a health situation, a personal situation, or a family member. But in your case, it was due to your husband's influence.
Yes, I was very happy because I never expect that this going more further than the little store, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But now we are really grateful because we have our small clinic and our school that we can teach all these techniques. So thanks to my husband and all our effort to keep going with the school and learning more with people that really know about this, we are here.
Mm-hmm. And I suppose the idea was to help more people.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And take them beyond a product to introduce therapies and new ways of living, new lifestyles.
Exactly, change completely our lives because it's not only, like I say, the store to sell products. It's more. We have more information to share with everybody about how we can see the life before and after one treatment.
Mm-hmm.
Because before you can have a lot of taboos that what this works, and after that you can see if I mean, we don't heal anybody. I mean, the body heals by herself only with the system of the magnets.
So do you see a lot of your work having to do with education? Are you primarily educating people?
Well, no, in the beginning we just start doing the treatments, but the people that start asking me, and then 30 minutes was just try to learn and understand how this work, and another 30 minutes just with the treatment. So some people say, why you don't teach us? And I say, no, I can. I say, yes, you can. So they start that way because they asked me to go first. So and one day I say, okay, why not? So that's why I started teaching the biomagnetic pair and the iridology and all these kind of techniques that we know we have on the health.
So you became an instructor on demand.
Yes.
Very good. Well, let's begin to talk about biomagnetic and bioenergetics. What are they? What are these therapies?
Well, the biomagnetic pair is important to know that it's not only like people think it's just the black or the pole, negative pole, because it's very confused, that kind of technique. If you use the biomagnetic pair, you need to use the two poles. If you just one pole, they call the magnetisms only. So this technique is the biomagnetic pair who Dr. Goyce created in 1988, and he discovered the first pair in 1988 with the BH pair. So after that, he started discover with the points on the acupuncture points, some of those, and the others where is the pH and unbalanced pH.
So how does it work?
If you use some magnetisms of the magnets, you can impact on your body wherever is the pH, and then start looking for this balance. As soon as you have 15 minutes, these two poles, and then the pH is going to level, and the virus, bacteria, fungus, and parasite, they're going to die because they can live on those ambients. They live in acid and alkaline areas. So if you polarize that area, and then they're never going to live on those areas.
So these are pathogens that are already in our body.
Yes.
And they're liking it there.
Yes, I love it.
And that's because we have gotten into a disbalance of our health chemistry.
Yes.
We're either too alkaline or too acid.
Right.
And they find a home and they don't want to leave,
No,
right?
they don't want.
So through the rebalancing that occurs with the biomagnetic pair, you're creating a perfect environment for us, the person, but not so for the bacteria or virus.
Exactly.
So the pathogen decides to, what happens to it then?
Well, they just die.
Oh, they die off.
Yes, I mean they can survive in those ambients, and because they are microscopic, that you can see where they're going. You know, it's
So it's very important to have that balance. And why is it that we get off balance?
well, most of the time is the ambient, or what you eat, or the exercise. If you don't do exercise, and most of the time the thoughts. So if you thought you are, ugly, or you thought you are with cancer or wherever, and then those cells start listening to you, and they start working on your thoughts. So that's the creation of the imbalance of the pH.
So our thoughts and emotions are very important.
It's very important because, believe it or not, wherever you think you are, there you go. You are. You are that person, and then you need to think now who really wants to be, how you want to live this life today, in this moment, because it's just every moment.
And tell us about the water theory in that pertains to our emotions and how that can be so.
Well, the water, remember the doctor Emoto Masaru? Okay, this doctor, he died like 3-4 years
Recently.
ago. And he discovered with a drop of water that if you put a music and some kind of music, this water is going to be the decomposition of the water. So because we are 90%, 95% of water, is the same process. We are vibration, and I feel your feelings, and then that's why the water start turn another way to live, our own water. So
our thoughts change the vibration, which then is reflected in our water, which is the greatest content in our body. and that begins to reflect in our health.
Exactly, because it's like the rice, that the experiment that he does. He put two glasses of water with rice, and one put toss, the positive toss, and the other one negative toss. And on the 30-day period or wherever they did, one is no good and the other one is still ready to eat. So it's exactly the same. It's no joke. It's really this
Right.
happen when you think that you are sick. Maybe you are because you have pathogens in your system. But if you still thinking on that, and then it's going to be worse.
You're emotionally creating an environment that's perfect for them.
Perfect for them, exactly.
So I like that experiment with the rice where, positive words meant the rice was in good condition for 30 days, and 30 days later, the other sample that was receiving negative words was totally destroyed.
Destroyed,
Yes.
yeah.
We're going to take a break and we'll be right back.
Thank you.
Si el techo de tu casa, negocio o de tu bodega fue dañado por algún desastre natural, llama ya a los expertos al 713-228-3030 y haz tu cita ya. Vamos hasta donde te encuentres y te hacemos una evaluación gratis. Llámanos 713-228-3030. Nosotros pelearemos por ti con la aseguranza y conseguiremos lo que tú necesitas. Llama ya a los expertos en casos de tormenta. 713-228-3030.
Si buscas un aspecto diferente, un nuevo estilo, más volumen y longitud en tu cabello sin dañarlo, esto es para ti. Magdiel te ofrece la nueva tendencia en extensiones. Sin pegamentos ni químicos innecesarios, todo el trabajo está garantizado. Además, va a domicilio. Llama ya al 720-343-9852. Magdiel Extensiones te transformará inmediatamente en lo que siempre has deseado: lucir un cabello hermoso.
Si perdiste un familiar en los Estados Unidos por causa de un accidente de tránsito, en el trabajo o por una negligencia médica y te encuentras fuera del país, no te preocupes, tú tienes derecho de hacer un reclamo. Llámanos ya al 713-228-3030 o a nuestra línea gratuita 1-888-800-1808. Sí, 1-888-800-1808 o visítanos en www.elabogadodelaRaza.com.
Yo soy Cristóbal Galindo y cuentas conmigo.
Hello and welcome back. We're visiting with Dr. Daria Guzman, and we're talking about biomagnetism and bioenergetics. That was a very interesting explanation about biomagnetism. Now, tell us about bioenergetics.
The bioenergetic is different, but it's the same process. But you need to communicate with yourself. And then in the beginning with the biomagnetic pair, that's the first level that Dr. Goyce discovered, you need to put the magnet on the body and then go to the feet and start moving with the kinesiology, the tests of the kinesiology, and start looking for the points with the magnet on hand. But the second level, you don't need to do that. You just talk, you start saying the parts of the body, and the body responds. So that's the difference. One is with magnets, and the other one is without magnets. Obviously, the people who start this technique, they need to start, putting magnets to see if this is really the point that you are naming it. If not, you don't know.
Right.
So it's about the practice. You need to have a lot of practice to do this.
So with muscle testing, you can identify the points in using biomagnetism.
Correct.
And the bioenergetics are going to allow you to do this same or similar work, but from a distance.
From a distance.
From a distance and not necessarily physically.
No. People can be in any part of the world, and we can work a distance.
And that's very interesting. You use the same concepts.
Exactly the same, only the person is another place, and you stop talking with the cells because the cells listen to you, because it's not the voice, it's just vibration. So
And intention.
exactly, that's the first thing, the intention, like Dr. Goes, yeah.
It's very interesting. So what are some of the, maybe an example of how you worked with one person using one or maybe the other?
Well, with my students, I try all the time to understand that they need to work at least 1 year with the first level. And if you don't know the body, more. But if you are a doctor or you are physician or you know about the body, probably take less to start doing this. But Dr. Goes say you need to study at least 1 year, practice all the whole year, in order to remember where is the eyes, where is the liver, where is all the points. And then when you sing the song, you start asking to the body, where is the, you don't need to take 3 or 4 hours just for 200 pairs. So you remember, you memorize, and you start just asking to the body if there is the imbalance in the eye or is an imbalance on the liver. But you need to start talking, and that's the way, that's the difference.
And with the other, you are not necessarily applying magnets on the person.
Well, yes, you need to put the magnets.
Okay.
But sometimes we don't do that, because if I'm in a plane and I'm coming from some place that I feel sick and I don't have magnets, I just impact my magnets with the intention and works the same way. So you don't need it, but sometimes if you don't have the practice or you don't believe or you don't know how to do it, it's not going to work.
It doesn't work.
No. But yes, you still need to put the magnets if you are treatment with the long distance treatment.
Now, say, I know you're getting ready to have a workshop pretty soon.
Yes, on this weekend we have the biomagnetic pair, the first level. It's 2 days, and frequently we have these courses in our school. Pretty simple, a lot of practice, and a lot of information that we can bring us more easy the technique to work on it.
Okay. And do people need a certain prerequisite training or anything?
It's important to know the body, because it's about the body. So you don't know what is the liver or the kidneys, and then it's going to take too much time to decide where to put it, because that's the most important thing. But anyway, you can come here and we can explain you how to start working, study. We give you some books that you can start going, and that's the only way that we can go.
Okay, so people can begin almost at any level, and you can help
Any
bring
level.
them up to speed. But of course, if they have more preparation, they can start and take advantage of the time and advance further.
Yes, and it's not difficult. This technique is pretty easy. It's simple. Obviously, you need to learn a lot of things, but the technique by themselves is very easy. If you have all the process and all the things that you have to know, it's easy and it's very fast. I mean, in 35, 45 minutes, you can do one treatment.
So you can begin to practice.
Yes.
Okay. Can you give us an example of maybe something that comes to mind, one of your success stories?
Okay, we have several cases, but one of those was somebody who had Crohn's disease.
Okay.
This guy, the father is a doctor, so he they gonna have the tubes through this area, trachea, because
He couldn't tolerate
they
it.
they can eat, they can do anything. So he comes to my attention and say, okay, I need therapy. but they're gonna put me these things to eat, and I say, okay, it's your decision. I can stop your surgery wherever.
Right.
And he say, I'm gonna wait for 1 month. So he decided to say to the doctor, wait for 1 month, and he decided to come for 4 weeks.
Okay.
So this guy, no longer the story. He was completely healthy after that. The father, who is a doctor, he can't believe it because he know that Crohn's disease is not curable. I mean, it's for all your life. So with this technique, we can do that.
You were able to help him.
I was surprised because I never thought in my life, that I'm going to help somebody with this problem. Because, like I say, I'm not a doctor,
Right.
medical doctor. And sometimes you don't know what is this word means. The Crohn's disease, what is that? You need to go to Google and see what is that. But thanks to these techniques, either like Dr. Goy say, if you are not a doctor, but you have the intention to start study and investigate all these things, you can make it. So that's the way I go. If I don't know anything or something, I'm not afraid to tell you. I don't know what it means, but let me help you.
And you don't need to know, right? You just need to understand what the body's telling you.
Exactly. So this guy so far is very happy. He sometimes every 3 or 4 months come to check out. They never do any surgery.
Didn't have to.
Yeah, and the doctor, the father, the doctor say, well, maybe it's asleep in your disease, no? And I don't say no, but he's still healthy.
Right.
So that's the way that
A lot better than he was before.
So that's one of those cases that I was very surprised too.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Well, Daria, I want to thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you so much
I
for inviting
appreciate
me.
your time and the explanations, and maybe we can visit again another time.
Yes, it's gonna be great to come here and enjoy and talk about all these interesting things.
Definitely. So, well, thank you. And thank you all for joining us today. I want to invite you to visit our YouTube channel and register while you're there. Show us your support so you can receive notifications of all our new posts and videos. And thanks for joining us on this live show today, and I'll see you again next week.
El programa anterior fue un programa pagado y las opiniones emitidas en el mismo no representan la opinión de CBBA Radio ni de sus patrocinadores.